us. Didn't you remember a wall? Michael pulls at her hand. Is that the wall we burned in the fire? The rent man says, Dear God in heaven, this beats a beginner. This takes the bloody biscuit. This is going beyond the beyonds. No rent, and what am I to tell Sir Vincent? Below in the office. Out, missus, I'm putting you out. 1 week from today, I'll knock on this door, and I want to find nobody at home. Everybody out, never to return. Do you have me, missus? Mam's face is tight. 'Tis a pity you weren't alive in the times the English were evicting us and leaving us on the side of the road. No lip, missus, or I'll send them in to put you out tomorrow. He goes out the door and leaves it open to show what he thinks of us. Mam says, I don't know what in God's name I'm going to do. Grandma says, well, I don't have room for ye, but your cousin, Gerard Griffin, is living out on the Rosebrine Road in that little house of his mother's, and he'll surely be able to take you in till better times come. 'Tis all hours of the night, but I'll go up and see what he says, and Frank can come with me. She tells me to put on a coat, but I don't have one, and she says, I suppose there's no use in asking if you have an umbrella either. Come on. She pulls the shawl over her head, and I follow her out the door, up the lane and through the rain to Rosebrine Road, nearly 2 miles away. She knocks on the door of a little cottage in a long row of little cottages. Are you there, layman? I know you're in there. Open the door. Grandma, why are you calling him layman? Isn't his name Gerard? How would I know? Do I know why the world calls your Uncle Pat Ab? Everyone calls this fella layman. Open the door, we'll go in. He might be working overtime. She pushes the door. It's dark and there's a damp, sweet smell in the room. This room looks like a kitchen, and there's a smaller room next to it. There's a little loft above the bedroom with a skylight where the rain is beating. There are boxes everywhere, newspapers, magazines, bits of food, mugs, empty tins. We can see 2 beds taken up all the space in the bedroom, a great acre of a bed and a small one near the window. Grandma pokes at a lump in the big bed. Lemon, is that you? Get up. Will you get up? What? There's trouble. Angela is getting evicted with the children and is delving out of the heavens. They need a bit of shelter till they can get on their feet, and I've no room for them. You can put them up in your loft if you like, but, well, that wouldn't do, because the small ones would be able to climb and they'd fall down and get killed. So you go up there and they can move in here. All right. He hoists himself from the bed, and there's a whiskey smell. He goes to the kitchen and pulls the table to the wall for his climb to the loft. Grandma says, that's fine now. You can move up here tonight, and you won't have the eviction man coming after you. Grandma tells Mam she's going home. She's tired and drenched, and she's not 25 anymore. She says there's no need to be taking beds or furniture with all the stuff that's up at Layman Griffin's. We put Alfie in the pram and pile around him the pot, the pan, the kettle, the jam jars and mugs, the pope, 2 bolsters, and the coats from the beds. We drape the coats over our heads and push the pram through the streets. Mam tells us be quiet going up the lane, or the neighbours will know we got the eviction and there will be shame. The pram has a bockety wheel which tilts it and makes it go in different directions. We try to keep it straight, and we're having a great time because it must be after midnight, and surely Mam won't make us go to school tomorrow. We're moving so far from Lely's school now, maybe we'll never have to go again. Once we get away from the lane, Alfie bangs on the pot with a spoon, and Michael sings a song he heard in a film with Al Jolson. Swanee, how I love ya, my dear old Swanee. He makes us laugh the way he tries to sing in a deep voice like Al Jolson. Mam says she's glad 'tis late and there's no one in the streets to see our shame. Once we get to the house, we take Alfie and everything else from the pram so that Melanie and I can run back down to Roden Lane for the trunk. Mam says she'd die if she lost that trunk and everything in it. Malachy and I sleep at opposite ends of the small bed. Mam takes the big bed with Alfie beside her and Michael at the bottom. Everything is damp and musty, and Layman Griffin snores over her head. There are no stairs in this house, and that means no angel ever on the 7th step. But I'm 12, going on 13, and I might be too old for angels. It's still dark when the alarm goes off in the morning, and Layman Griffin snorts and blows his nose and hawks the stuff from his chest. The floor creaks under him, and when he pisses for ages into the chamber pot, we have to stuff our mouths with coats to stop the laughing, and Mam hisses at us to be quiet. He grumbles away above us before he climbs down to get his bicycle and bang his way out the door. Mam whispers, the coast is clear, go back to sleep, you can stay home today. We can't sleep, we're in a new house, we have to pee and we want to explore. The lavatory's outside, about 10 steps from the back door. our own lavatory with a door you can close and a proper seat where you can sit and read squares that the Limerick leader Layman Griffin left behind for wiping himself. There's a long backyard, a garden with tall grass and weeds, an old bicycle that must have belonged to a giant. What kind of a bicycle would a child think belonged to a giant? Think about it, old-fashioned bicycle.
Oh, the big wheel.
Big tricycle.
Yeah, the big wheel in the front, right? Or in the back, rather, right? Was it in the back?
No, it's in the front.
It was in the front.
Yeah.
And they sat lower, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Tin cans galore, old papers and magazines rotting into the earth, a rusted sewing machine, a dead cat with a rope around his neck that somebody must have thrown over the fence. Michael gets a notion in his head that this is Africa and keeps asking, "Where's Tarzan? Where's Tarzan?" He runs up and down the backyard with no pants on, trying to imitate Tarzan yodeling from tree to tree. Malachy looks over the fences into the other yards and tells us, "They have gardens, they're growing things. We can grow things. We can have our own spuds and everything." Mom calls from the back door, "See if you can find anything to start a fire in here." There's a wooden shed built against the back of the house. It's collapsing, and surely we could use some of the wood for the fire. Mom is disgusted with the wood we bring in. She says it's rotten and full of white maggots, but beggars can't be choosers. The wood sizzles above the burning paper, and we watch the white maggots try to escape. Michael says he feels sorry for the white maggots, but we know he's sorry for everything in the world.